Hello everyone, my name is Chelsea and welcome back to our second episode of Bewitched by Buffy. Welcome back to Bewitched by Buffy, where we're going to be reading all of the Angel and Buffy comics I can get my hands on. This is going to be a multiple week project because there are so many Buffy comics out, including the canon comics, the Boom Studios reboot, and there's new comics supposedly coming out from Dynamite. Every Tuesday, a new episode will be released of the comics we were able to read that weekend. This will be spoiler-filled, so please keep that in mind, but I hope you enjoy the ride. I was not expecting this episode to be our next video because our last episode, our very first episode of this, was the last video I filmed. Usually I try and put videos up on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and that was just not happening this week. Our first episode of Bewitched by Buffy went up on Tuesday, and then I did not have anything for Thursday or Saturday done, partly because Presley's birthday is coming up, and so we actually had his birthday party today, Saturday. We've already finished all of that, and so now we are back home, and then it's also just partly because this video is my 1000th video on YouTube. Yeah. And I got in my head a little bit about what that meant and what I needed to do for it, and all the video ideas that I had that were quick to do because I was planning a birthday party didn't feel right. And then also partly, I have been really thinking about Angel After the Fall so much, and it's been really hard to like do other things. I've read some other stuff, but I've like been wanting to jump back into this, which I think is good. It means I'm really enjoying what we've been reading so far. And today on our second episode of Bewitched by Buffy, we are going to finish Angel After the Fall. So we are going to be focusing on Angel After the Fall Volume 3 and After the Fall Volume 4. Then we also have Angel Aftermath, which is technically Volume 5, but I know some people say After the Fall is only 4 volumes, because then we also have Last Angel in Hell, which is Volume 6. I'm going to be reading all 4 of those in this vlog today. We're going to be doing lots of spoilers in case you are new. We're going to be doing lots of spoilers. I feel like that's the only way to really do this, and it was very interesting trying to do it last time because I would be reading but not necessarily filming, and then especially in the first volume I would read something that was mind-blowing and have to talk to you guys about it, so I'd have to like turn the camera back on. I feel like when I started to get to, what was it, Spike After the Fall, I was really in a rhythm of like, I could feel when tension was coming as I was reading, and I would just reach up and turn the camera on while I was doing that before we got to any reveals. Like I could almost feel like when they were coming on so that you guys could actually see my more like actual thoughts and feelings and facial expressions as it was happening. So yes, we are officially done with Presley's birthday party. We are doing quiet time right now. It is Saturday. I have my 4 volumes here. We're gonna at least do, I think, the first couple today, finish up tomorrow. It's been mind-blowing, 100%. So last time we read Angel After the Fall Volume 1, which had so much stuff going on. Then we read Volume 2, which was more of like the first night that they were in hell. And then we did Spike After the Fall, which was sort of in between Volume 2 and then Volume 1. Volume 1 is like the most recent stuff in this whole timeline. We also read a couple of these Spike prequel things, technically. We read Asylum and Shadow Puppets because it gives us characters and things that have started to slowly show up in these books. So technically, Angel After the Fall Volume 1 is the thing that happened last in the timeline, if we're really experiencing it that way. And there was a lot going on. I think we ended on a fight with Angel having to fight like the Demon Lord's champions because he killed one of their sons, and because Los Angeles is in hell, he is like trying to save the humans and stuff. Like it's like him versus all of their champions, and if he wins, they're gonna step down and let everybody go free. Thing is, Angel's a human. He's not a vampire anymore. We don't exactly know how that happened, but it blew my mind a little bit. And so he is not at his best to be fighting all these people. But all the other people that we sort of know and love have now shown up to help him. Wesley, who died on the last episode of Angel, the TV series, is now incorporeal and working for Wolfram and Hart. It seems like not something that he wants to do. Like, he does not want to be working for Wolfram and Hart and potentially causing Angel pain and stuff. He was gonna grab all the heroes and things, but they were already there. And we have people like Spike and Lorne and Connor and Gwen and Nina and Gru. I just love this whole fact. So like everybody's there helping fight this like battle. And then Illyria shows up, and Illyria, based on Spike After the Fall, has been with Spike since Los Angeles went to hell. And there's been some stuff going on with her. Again, we don't 100% know yet, but she's been turning into Fred. And so at the very end of Angel After the Fall, Volume 1, she sees Wesley, who is like an incorporeal ghost because he shows up at the battle, and she turns into Fred, and then that's like it. That's all we know. That does seem like a lot. But there's been lots of like reveals and all this kind of stuff, and I need to know what's going on. So we're gonna be starting with Volume 3. Okay, I think that's everything to introduce this. Let's do it. Okay. I just gave you like a whole summary. There is a summary in here because the one thing that I forgot to mention that is, again, mind-blowing a little bit, Gunn is a vampire. So Angel's a human, Gunn's a vampire. Gunn got like kidnapped by vampires or something right around the time that Hell came to Los Angeles. He's a vampire. He had like an eye missing and everything, and then when he turned into a vampire, it has a scar now, so I don't know how that all works with the vampire physiology, but he is not happy with Angel for the fact that he is a vampire, and so part of all this stuff that was going on, he kidnapped Beta George, who is a gigantic telepathic beta fish, yes, and he also framed Spike and Illyria for deaths of humans that Gunn killed. I don't think anybody else knows from our Angel Investigations crew that Gunn is a vampire, but we were like in the middle of a fight, I want to say, before. Right now, we're seeing Fred and Illyria and stuff like that. Okay, let's get into this. I'm sure it's gonna be a wild ride. Okay, the demons are not happy that people are helping Angel, although Fred is sort of in the way. Spike did not know Wesley was back at all. Angel did not know Illyria changes into Fred. So yeah, everybody is very, very confused. Demons are not happy that Angel's getting help, so they have now said that they should start slaughtering humans. So we'll see about that. So I know I still have some time to get into this book. Like, we're only a little bit in, but we're having a lot of like Gunn on the outside with his group of vampire people watching the fight from like way up high. People don't know he's there. People don't know he's a vampire, but he's like up here and he's watching this group come together, and he was saying something about his plan, and he needs this group of people together in order to do his plan. So this is part of his plan, but he's not telling us the freaking plan. And I hate when they do this where it's like a comic medium and they're really like talking around in circles about stuff, because right now I'm not enjoying this as much as like the first few volumes, the first couple. And I think it's because there's a lot more talking, not as much action. We have these panels, but like so far a lot of it has been like Spike and Angel being like, oh, whoa, what's going on? And then Gunn in the background being like, oh, this is part of my plan. Like, what is your plan? Nobody's told us anything yet. And again, I know I have quite a bit to go, but I would like more information quicker, please. Okay. They have finished the battle, apparently, which, again, in this book didn't have much battle. But they had Lorne meeting with some people being like, hey, where's Angel? Why is Lorne here instead of him? Like, I thought he won. And he just said that Angel went home, and it looks like they're going back to the hotel, which was like our base for the last couple seasons besides season 5, because it was the last place Fred felt safe. I'm assuming maybe Fred is still Fred right now and not Illyria, so Okay. I think I'm also seeing where I'm having a little bit of trouble here. So up here, we have, you know, Whedon Lynch, who's our main writer for this story, and Uru. Uru is the artist for the first volume stuff. He did, I think, Spike Shadow Puppets or Spike Asylum, and then like was working with the same author and everything for Angel After the Fall. This volume though, volume 2 had short stories and had lots of different artists for those short stories. This volume has his name on it, but it looks like it's not his style, and I think that's part of my issue. Sometimes the pictures, and this is not where I am, but the pictures look super detailed, and like here, these are the characters, super detailed, but then there's other parts of the panels that are so not detailed that like I'm confused. Like this right here, Wesley and Fred / Illyria were going somewhere because Angel said that they went off somewhere, and people were like, should they go somewhere? And Connor's like, well, one is non-corporeal and one is Illyria. How are you going to stop them? But apparently this is Wesley's dead body because Illyria mentions that he kept his shell, but that does not look like him in any way, shape, or form. And so there are styles and things in this that are like either too detailed or not detailed enough, and I do feel like I don't like the art style as much as previously. And it does look like the pencils and inks and different things, none of these are Uru, who did do like the first ones. And I hate to say it, but sometimes I'm very particular about the art style of comics and graphic novels because I can find them muddied a bit. So I am sort of finding myself a little bit like I am curious about the story, but at the same time, at least for where I was currently in this, I'm almost at the end of chapter 1. I think there's only a couple more pages. It's just like, I didn't understand that that was supposed to be Wesley's body. Like, it just didn't look like that for me. And so, yeah, okay, let's finish this chapter. We're gonna keep going, obviously, as well. I'm just hoping I can get past that, because I do think that is an issue for me. Okay, well, Illyria says that Wesley is going to stay with her. I don't know how they're gonna make that happen, because he is technically dead, but they have his body somehow, so, like, okay. Going to chapter 2. It looks very comic-y on this style, which I don't mind. I'm curious about it. And it looks like our sneak peek here is Beta George. So we haven't seen him yet in this volume. Okay, so people are going to be going on patrols and things. Illyria and Angel are going to be going. Spike is apparently babysitting Wesley in some way. I don't exactly know what, but I turned this on because we're about to get into the Beta George gun stuff. So in the last book, whenever it was, I mentioned, so Beta George is a giant telepathic beta fish, but he saw something about slayers. It's the first time we've heard the word slayers in a while, and it was in one of his like little things, and so they're getting to the point, I guess. Gunn is trying to talk to him, and I say trying to talk, he's like beating him up a little bit because he was unconscious or something, but he's like, you heard the word slayers. So let's see. Okay, haven't learned anything yet. Really, just that apparently there's slayers and they're gonna fight Beta George. I don't know. Are they on Gunn's side? Bless you, bless you. I don't know. Illyria knows that Angel's no longer a vampire. And she just like flat out said it to the whole group, which was Angel, obviously he's there, Connor, and Gwen, and some weird vampire Lestat Dracula wannabe vampire guy. And nobody knew this except for obviously Angel. Connor's like, wait, when did this happen? And the vampire wannabe, like, he is a vampire, but he's like trying to be a little bit fancy. He's like, who else knows? Am I in the circle now? Like, so silly. How did it happen? Yeah, I want to know how it happened too. Okay, Angel said Wolfram and Hart did it. When they made it to hell, they made him a human. We didn't get to see this. I have no idea if that's true or not. But, okay. But yeah, okay, apparently Connor and Gwen at least know. Illyria was the one that figured it out. Or apparently Nina was there too, and Gwen just told her to take the human home. Oh yeah, Connor's not happy that he didn't say anything. Okay, we're back with Beta George and Gunn and stuff. And he's having Beta George not just be telepathic, but like telekinetic almost, like tell the Slayers to stop moving. And he was able to do it. And then Gunn killed one or really wounded her or something. I don't know. I need to know why they're doing all this stuff. Okay. Gunn had Beta George call for help outside of Los Angeles. And of course he's calling the people from like Spike Asylum, Bex and stuff. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, LA's in hell. But the person that he called about it turned on the news. And they can't see LA being in hell. They don't believe him. And I'm assuming that's what Gunn wanted to show people. Or at least George, because he said he had the same reaction. And George said, you knew about this. Huh. I wonder how he knew about it. And what that means for everything else. Okay. Angel and Illyria on their giant dragon found the power that is Gunn. Because she was able to see that Angel didn't have power. Apparently that wasn't supposed to happen yet. But they have now found him. And I think they know that he is a vampire. And of course, she sees Gunn and she's Fred. Illyria's turned into Fred. Probably not the right time to do it. Okay. Okay, Gunn is still a soulless vampire. He even admitted he's soulless. But another vampire tried to go for Angel. And Gunn dusted him. And now is going to give Angel a tour. So like, earlier he said he was mad at Angel. Still, very confused. Did I mention this before? I can't remember if I did, but apparently Gwen and Connor have a little flirtation going on. Sort of cute. Okay, Gunn and Angel are in his lair and stuff, and apparently there's this like creepy demon thing that could project visions from like the powers that be. I don't know, similar to like Cordelia's stuff. And so apparently the vampires that stole Gunn during the fight already knew stuff that was going to happen because of the visions. But not everything. Apparently they didn't know that Gunn was going to kill the vampire that turned him. And maybe some other things. But so, I don't know if this thing is still alive. I don't know if it's alive. It looks, maybe not. But apparently, this was like where we started. Okay, yeah. No, Gunn's still a little evil. He's saying his first order of business once he staked the other person and became the leader was to free the prisoner. They show him like nailing him to the wall. And then he said, it was too late. He was dying when I found him. But then they show him biting the demon guy. But before he left, he gave me a gift. Okay, so maybe because he bit him, he now has the visions. He's seeing all this kind of stuff happening. But not everything, because when Angel and Illyria and them came on the dragon, he said that wasn't when it was supposed to happen. Interesting. All these visions. Why did we not have more vision people in Buffy? Because it happens quite often in Angel. Okay, he thinks his visions are going to save Los Angeles, but he seems to be going about it in a very, very weird way. Okay. Yeah, Gunn doesn't know Angel is not a vampire anymore. And he's been telling his people, because they're like sort of fighting, don't kill him. Like, don't stake him. But he just ran him through with a giant sword and has this, like, magic amulet that's going to take power away. And you can tell when he realizes. Angel is human. Yep, he just says when. I think Gwen is on Gunn's side. I think Gwen might be. They were on their way to go help Angel. Angel is obviously like mortally injured right now, and Gunn says he's just gonna let him die. And then like Gwen just sort of like stops and says, I'm sorry. He said it was never gonna be like this. Gwen. She's been flirting with Connor, and are we saying that that was all fake now? Cause like, Gwen. I liked Gwen a lot in the TV show. She also did like Gunn in the TV show a little bit, so like, Oh, apparently Gwen actually said she loved Connor, but girl. Okay, she really believes that Gunn somehow knows how to bring everything back the way it was. I don't know if he's actually gonna be able to do that or not. We will see. Sorry. Everything is now very confusing. Again, Connor called the dragon Cordelia. He said, don't make me let Cordy eat you. And the dragon is behind Gwen. Is this actually supposed to be her? Because, like, I mean, there was a vampire or somebody that could hear the fish. Was it the fish? The fish could hear stuff and said, why is that the dragon's name? But they didn't say what it was. Okay. Huh. I'm so confused now. Sorry. Angel just said Wesley is living impaired. Okay, the dragon's a boy. And we have Angel saying that when he was first put in hell, turned into a human, pieces of him were broken. Wesley, who is living impaired, was trying to help him with stuff from Wolfram and Hart. Apparently, when he was doing all of that stuff, he kept thinking about Cordelia and talking to her in his head, or maybe even out loud, who knows. So the dragon thinks his name is Cordelia. But it's not Cordelia. Just the name is Cordelia. Okay, Cordelia, some sort of vision of her, is talking to Angel because he is dying. And they've basically said that it seems like because they're in hell, nothing good can get through. So the visions that Gunn was seeing is probably not the powers that be. Cordelia was saying the only reason she can talk to Angel right now is because he's close to death. And she's dead, and she's seen glimpses of LA, but because it's in hell, she can't really see it. We've now switched over to Wesley and Nina, I think, watching Fred try and figure stuff out with books. And Wesley disappeared, and Fred turned into Illyria. And I just find this so fascinating because we know from the show, at least in one of the episodes, Illyria can sort of go through different times. And there was something mentioned in Spike After the Fall that I think I forgot about at one point. But they had mentioned that Illyria can sort of see, like, into the future because she does this kind of stuff. And at one point, they said the bad guy from Spike After the Fall was insignificant because she's not in the future. But somebody had mentioned that they had also seen that Spike's not there either, which I'm just very curious about to see how that plays out. But Illyria is not happy that Wesley disappeared. Fred turns into Illyria, and it's showing all these different situations, different backgrounds, different women, with Illyria saying, bring him back. But, like, not all of this is Illyria. Like, it's interesting. I think these are all from the hotel, but, like, this is a room that they're in. This is something different. This one has the baby bassinet, I think probably from back where Connor was. It's interesting. Oh, okay, Illyria's gonna go find him, I guess. She's punching through walls to go do this. Okay, sorry. Wesley ended up showing up at Gunn's place, and they're like, hi, I'm dead, you're a vampire, da-da-da-da-da. And Cordelia obviously is still here talking to Angel, and she said, poor Wesley, and Angel said, I know, he probably feels useless. And she said, no, I was talking more about the return to the men's warehouse wardrobe. Because, yeah, his outfit choices are very much more like early Wesley than current, or what should be the current Wesley. Okay. Wesley is saying that these are Wolfram and Hart's visions, because there is no good here. But he also says that Wolfram and Hart gave him information, and they never filed it. Everything went to hell before they filed it. I think that means the prophecy that Angel signed away saying he couldn't have this Shanshu prophecy anymore. Okay, this was all for Wolfram and Hart to have Angel, apparently. Everything was being moved because of them, like a chessboard. I still don't fully understand. Yeah, okay. They're all players in Angel's hell. They weren't in their own hell, they were all players in Angel's hell. Gunn thought maybe he was going to get to use the Shanshu prophecy, although he doesn't have a soul right now. But Wesley's like, no, it was always about Angel. And apparently this whole thing has been setting stuff up. Okay, Wesley is saying, the senior partners have been kind enough to force me to deliver one last vision for Angel's eyes only, your part in the apocalypse. The Shanshu prophecy carried out right before your eyes. It is written, it has been witnessed, it is inevitable. Oh, no. He's evil? That definitely looks like Angelus. That does not look good. That does not look good at all. That's his vision? He saw that and then he said, Cordelia, I'm ready to go. Yeah, he does not want that to happen. I'm so confused. Okay, that's the end of this volume. It says to be continued. Huh. Okay. I don't think I liked this nearly as much as the stuff that I read last week. I don't necessarily think it was bad. I'm leaning toward like 3.5 stars maybe. Mostly because I'm just like so confused right now. And I know technically we have volume 4, I think it's this one, which is like the last major part of like the actual after the fall. Because the 5 and 6 are like other stuff. Epilogues or things. There was so much stuff in here that is confusing. And like I need to know what's going on, but it was less like it's more confusing than like volume 1 where we're dropped into something where we knew it was going to happen after season 5 of Angel, but it is a few months after that, where we're like dropped into hell a few months later. Like in the show, we don't get to see them go to hell. So like it's giving us all this stuff of like what had happened and slowly introducing us to the characters again. And I actually really like that because it's wild. It's crazy. I need to know what's going on. This is supposed to be giving us a little bit more. And at the same time, I just don't fully know everything. Like we're getting a little bit more of like Gunn's backstory of like why he's doing stuff. But I guess I just don't 100% like that it's like, oh, because of these visions. Like I would love to know more about Fred and Illyria. And like we know that stuff's happening with her, but we're not getting that as much. Like this definitely felt more like an Angel / Gunn volume, like, which is fine. They gave us some stuff, but again, I'm just like confused with it. Like, okay. I have to switch to my phone for now. I like that we had the Shanshu prophecy come into here, because it was something that was in Angel. We knew about it, but it was sort of like on the back burner, especially in the beginning. It's something that would come up every so often, a little bit more prominent in the later seasons, but like still not the biggest thing. So I like that that is technically part of the motivation for here. I'm very curious about it, but I'm still just like confused as to like what the actual heck is going on. So like I did like this, but I don't think I nearly liked it as much as anything else that I've read so far. I could potentially say this is a 4-star, but I think it's realistically more like a 3.5. We'll have to see about the next volume. I just wanted a little bit more from it. And then, like I said earlier, I do think part of the detriment of this one is I don't particularly like the art style as much. It feels a little bit muddy in a way, because they're trying to do too much detail on the faces. I don't need these characters to look exactly like the other characters. As long as you have a stylized version where I know exactly what's going on and who's doing what, that's fine. But I feel like there were definitely some pages and panels where I was confused as to what was going on, and you need a little bit more clarity that way. Again, I would have liked a little bit more of some of the other stuff that was going on versus just the Shanshu prophecy and Gunn and things. Again, I know we have to solve that. I'm hoping the next volume picks it up a little bit because I would like us to solve that. So again, not bad. It is giving us more stuff, but like especially at the beginning of this volume, I was way more confused. It was better once we started getting into the whole actual Gunn stuff and they're fighting and things are happening. And now apparently Angel's dying or he's going to turn into Angelus. It looked like Angelus for sure. So we'll have to see. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of a break because the kids want me to. But we have 3 more volumes to do this weekend. Okay, everyone, it is Sunday now. I have not read anything else since yesterday. We just got tired, I think, of doing all the party stuff, so we technically still have 3 volumes of things to read today. This is After the Fall, Angel After the Fall, Volume 4, which I'm pretty sure is like the main end of the story. The back says evil is winning, which is not a good sign. But then we still have the other couple of volumes that are like technically in this series, but like more epilogue-ish type of things. I'm not entirely sure, but obviously we're gonna be going with this one next because like, I need to know what's going on. Yes, I didn't like Volume 3 as much as 1 or 2 or even Spike After the Fall, which I did really enjoy. And there's like lots of things happening. I need to know character motivations. Angel is human, but like on death's door right now. And he was given a vision by Ghost Wesley from the evil powers that be. I have no idea. Maybe it's the good ones. I don't know how they got their stuff, but it looks like maybe Angelus is coming back. I don't know. Yeah, okay, let's continue. I love some of the little things that we see in this because I'm barely a few pages in. We're starting with Spike in a dumpster, I guess after being thrown off the roof in the previous book. I don't remember, but like he goes into this building and he's gonna fight this guy and he's like, you know, this is gonna be quick and painful, and Spike's like, yeah, probably, and immediately cuts off this guy's hand, and the guy is like, you think this is gonna stop me? I've survived Slayers. And Spike's like, well, I didn't. And yet here we are. I just think that sort of like the humor of like those little touches, the nods back to the previous series, Angel or Buffy, it's fun. Yeah. Sorry. And then right after, he dusts this other vampire guy and he says, huh, I didn't. No one's ever around for the really pithy, like, he's like laughing at his own joke, which I already laughed at. So that's, yeah, I like those. I like those things a lot. Oh, okay. Wolfram and Hart are apparently not happy with Gunn trying to kill Angel and things and are really sending all the demons and stuff after them. Very interesting. Lots of dragons? It looks like lots of dragons. Okay, the dragons potentially took out the Cordelia dragon. The dragon that thinks its name is Cordelia. Not actually Cordelia in a dragon form, although I was confused for a little bit. And then Connor and Gwen, who were fighting because Gwen basically double-crossed him and was working with Gunn. We're also then fighting about who was going to go kill some dragons. And it looks like she turned in like pure energy, but then also potentially got bit by a dragon or something too. So like, people are not in such good places here. Yeah, people are definitely not in good places here. Spike let the Slayers out after killing that other vampire guy, and he got dusted. But again, we mentioned something about that before, because Illyria, stuff's going on with her, and in one of the like visions or something that she saw, apparently Spike was not at the end. We'll have to see. Like everything, like we're only a few pages in. Everything is like going to extra hell right now. They're already in hell. Extra hell. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, how are we gonna bring some of this stuff back? Because spoiler, I guess, on volume 6, Spike's on the cover, so like stuff's gonna change, stuff's gonna happen, but right now everything is horrible. Okay, Angel is ready to die because he doesn't want to turn into, I'm assuming, Angelus and help evil win. He is convinced that this Cordelia that he is seeing because he is dying is the real Cordelia with the powers that be, and they also want him to die because all this other stuff that's happening is probably Wolfram and Hart. But Gunn, even though he is a soulless vampire, is still like so into like, this is not how it's supposed to be. I don't know what he 100% saw, but he is like, this is not how it's supposed to be. Connor is now here. Connor's telling them that he's pretty sure Gwen died. Yeah, again, everything just shit hitting the fan. kicked Gunn out of a window in a building. Like, I think he's gone out the window. That, okay. Okay, I like that they're bringing it back to some of the earlier stuff that we saw as well. So in volume 2, when it was first night and we had like Connor's part that also ended up being Kate's part. Kate, who obviously we know was in the first like 2 seasons of Angel, I don't particularly like her. I don't think she was needed in the story, but it was interesting to see her. We never saw her again. I don't know if we're ever going to see her again. It was like a small thing, but she helped save Connor from some demons and basically told him advice that Angel had told her about, like, it might not matter what we do, but because of that, you need to make it count for what you do. I don't know. I don't know how to say that, but Connor is now telling Angel he can't give up and giving him the advice of some blowhard, which was Angel in the first place. And it sounds like Angel is ready to now go and live again and help Connor and stuff. He doesn't want to die. Spike's back. Basically, they're talking about Angel and how to bring him back from the brink of death, and Spike literally just said, "Ain't that hard. Bringing people back from the great beyond is child's play here in Hotel de Chuck. Trust me, I'm not just the president, I'm also a bloody client." Again, no explanation yet. We will have to see. Oh, okay, I'm barely into the next page. Illyria seeing Gunn again. Gunn goes back and forth on his emotions way too much for me. He's talking to Illyria and he's upset that things aren't the way that they're supposed to be and all this other kind of stuff, and then she turns into Fred and now he wants to like shoot her because now it's the way things are supposed to be. I'm just... Yeah, like, dude, too much whiplash for me here. There's just so much. I don't understand. Okay, chapter 2. Okay, Gru's flying around on a winged horse fighting things, but he just called his winged horse Cordelia too. Like, people. Sorry. Some of the lines in this one are so much better. I think I missed some of the more pithy dialogue in the previous volume. So Spike is back somehow. He's saying that, like, how badly Angel's beaten up is not that bad. He's come back from worse. Don't you realize that he got turned into a crisp in Sunnydale? And everybody's like, yes, we know. But Angel's a human and Gunn's a vampire. Angel's not going to be just, like, bouncing back because he's not a vampire anymore. And Spike is like, I knew he gained weight. Spider told me I was just being catty. I'm just like, the fact that that was something that he had talked about to Spider or, you know, other people, and like that's where he's going with, like, I knew it. Like, okay, Gunn does not believe that Fred is actually Fred. Definitely thinks it's Illyria going through phases or something in Fred's body. But we did have another, like, I keep wanting to say like time jump. It's not. It's like alternate reality jump stuff. And he said he had a breath. So like, yeah, time slip. They're calling it a time slip. I'm so curious about that because we know in one of the episodes of Angel, Illyria was doing that weird time slip stuff. I love that episode actually. But like, they sort of took away some of her power, so that stopped happening. I don't know if maybe it's starting again because they're in hell and things, but like, I'm so curious about that. I hope we get more of that. Oh, it looks like Gunn needs the time slips for his stuff to work. We'll have to see. Like, he wants more. Okay, Spike thinks there's like a weird time slip thing, but like a few minutes in like whatever room he was in with the Slayers. So that's why he came back. They tried it with Angel, but that was like too much time. So they're gonna see if there's more stuff to do, I guess. Oh, Spike wants to turn him back into a vampire. That does make sense. And Angel says we had the same idea at the same time. But then he would be Angelus. Yes, that would be an issue. I think that's probably what the vision was showing us. Okay, more demons and things are coming saying that Angel is not allowed to die. They need him to be alive. And Wesley says they're like conduits for the senior partners, but it's so funny because they're like, Angel needs to live. Angel can't die. We're wasting time. We have to tend to your friend slash father slash fall of all that is good. He dies. Depletion of resources will be for nothing. Already such a crazy fiscal year. And I'm just like, the fact that we're like talking about a fiscal year, that got me, obviously. Wesley says, depletion of resources, the amount of money, power, blood spent per second is staggering. They're just like, yeah. And there's a delivery guy coming in the elevator down here. Like, he's just delivering packages still in hell. Oh my goodness. Okay, Illyria's talking. Still in Fred's body, but she's really talking about how she wishes Fred was there somewhere. Like, she's been trying, but she's not coming back. And Illyria is returning to her true form, which is this. Not her form in Fred's body. That. She was taking out some of these demons while all this stuff is happening. And Gunn is apparently very happy about this. He said this is what he's been waiting for. Okay. Gunn, first of all, again, the art style here, not doing it for me. Some of the pages have been looking okay, and then other ones, like, they just don't even look congruous here. But apparently, Gunn wants Beta George to tell Illyria to send us back before the fall, because, remember, he was practicing on Slayers, trying to get them to do stuff, and he just said, what the heck is an Illyria? Yeah, that crazy tentacled creature over there. Okay, George is trying to tell Illyria. And we got like a white panel. Okay. Beta George tried to tell her. And he said that she's not gonna do it. She wants to end it all. Underline, boldface. She's collapsing time. She's had it with existence. And Gunn's like, that'll work. That'll do, pig. Just like, okay. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, this definitely does feel more like a last volume. Hopefully they wrap it up, but then we still have some more stuff to do. But like, yeah, lots of stuff going on. Okay, we're on chapter 3. Oh, there's so much stuff going on. So much battle and stuff. Apparently Illyria is trying to find the right moment in time to end everything, but if not, she'll take it piece by piece. And then like Gru and all the previous bikini ladies are here. And it looks like she's trying to hit them now too. Oh, we have a glimpse of Lorne. We haven't seen him in a while. He was back in, what was Silver Lake or something, where it was like nice and pretty and protected. But I think their bubble's about to burst as well. It's just like a little snippet, but he's definitely there. Wesley's confirming to Angel that Fred is completely gone. This is Illyria doing stuff, and right now she's, yeah, trying to destroy everything. Oh, yeah. Okay, Gun's Slayers have been trapped in a time loop. We've seen in some of the previous ones that like Gunn has actually been having people kill them and everything, but he still has all the Slayers. I wasn't even thinking about that, but Angel's talking about how they're here to fight, but they've been trapped in like a 5-minute time loop over and over and over. They've probably died so many times, and they might not even realize, because after they had like killed Spike in one and then like been reset, they don't remember they were in a time loop. Spike remembered, but they didn't remember. So they probably don't know anything that's going on. Angel is psyching himself up to potentially go kill Illyria and Gunn because he doesn't see another way out. And over here, he's looking very much like vamp face crazy, like in that prophecy thing that we saw. They need more of those like little humorous things every so often. Angel is like coming back from one of the time slips again, and is like, is everybody still here? And Spike says, some of what's left of the gang is here-ish. Ghost Wesley, check. Fall of Man, check. Connor's bleeding, so Angel's like, are you okay? Because you're bleeding. And Connor's like, I'm good, everyone's bleeding. Like, it's just like those like little things that make it good. Spike says, I'm good too, thanks for asking. I absolutely love Spike and everything, but basically Angel's telling him the plan of stuff, and Spike has said that you're aware that I like Fred more than you, and you're afraid I'm gonna stab you instead of her. And Angel's like, yes. And then Spike is explaining that he's seen Illyria act up like this before, but we all know that just because it's a monster doesn't mean we should kill it. But after everything that's happened, we know it's not Fred. He says he's dealing with it. We know it's not Fred. Fred's not homicidal. Fred's shorter. Oh gosh. Like, he's ready to go fight, it looks like. They're all ready. And it looks like we got Wesley, Angel, Connor, Spike, the 3 Slayers from before. And they're going to be trying to take Illyria down or do as much damage as possible. Okay, Gunn just tried to take Connor out. Spike's with him. I don't know if he's actually down and out or not, though. But Angel and Gunn are apparently going to fight right now. Angel's realizing that he always had the ability to be that, like, evil person for Wolfram and Hart, because he's about to kill Gunn. But I think he realizes he doesn't want to do that, because he just decided not to actually stab him yet. Angel's like, good, you, the fish, come with me. And the fish is like, what do you want? I'm a prisoner. I didn't stab anybody. Yeah, his name is George. Spike knows him. Spike says, we go way back. What? Just because you're not there doesn't mean it doesn't happen. I'm mates with a telepathic fish. Yep. Oh, he wants George to give Illyria memories of Fred, but Wesley's memories of Fred. Not Illyria's memories of Fred or anything like that. Oh, and Wesley said you should use Spike's memories of Fred too, because yeah, Spike really liked Fred. Yeah, George says, give me something difficult. Fred's front and center within both of them. I don't know what's going to happen with this story necessarily. We're still reading it, obviously. But I like that this almost feels like a goodbye to Fred more. Because I'm pretty sure we still have more Illyria and things in other comics. So I am really liking that it feels like more of a send-off for Fred. I do like that a lot. We have a lot of the memories here. Yeah, we show Illyria who Fred was, what she meant to us, what was taken away. And Illyria learns what she's trying to do is the furthest thing from who it was trying to be. Yeah, she was trying to be Fred, I guess. Oh, Connor is telling Angel that he was a good man before he dies. Because he was mortally wounded by Gunn. Oh, and then we have a flashback to baby Connor. Yeah. Okay, this is a much better volume than the last one. The last one was probably like middle book syndrome, you know? We spend most of our lives trying to find our one true love. I found mine, and it's him and Connor. That's so sad. Wesley has thoughts. So Angel's pissed, obviously. He's upset. Everybody knows he's upset. Like, even Gunn is like, leave him alone. He's mourning. And he wants to take pain out of these, like, demons from Wolfram and Hart. He wants to make them suffer, even though it's not going to do anything. And so he's, like, hacking and slashing a little bit. And Wesley says he has to stop. And then Spike says, well, why? Just let him work out some aggression. It's not like they're going to kill him. They need him. And Wesley's like, you're right. They can't kill him. And he's talking to the demons like, you won't let him die. You won't kill him. And they even said, yeah, if he even has so much as the sniffles, we will simply pull a better him out of the timeline. And then Wesley said, are you hearing this, Angel? They'll reach into your timeline. And Angel apparently gets it because he said, gotcha. Spike's like, what are you doing? And if we're wrong, it's over anyway. We have to be fast. Spike says, okay, so what is it gonna be for? Wesley says, do you want the Slayers? And Angel said, I think it needs to be Gunn. Either way, if it works or if it doesn't. Okay. Okay, so they're gonna try and reach into the timeline. Angel's timeline to get stuff. Okay, apparently they just said goodbye to Wesley. He said, thank you, Rogue Demon Hunter. And Spike said, what's all that about? If he wasn't see-through, you would have kissed him, wouldn't you? That's the vibe I got. Just like... I like it when they add the little bit of humor in there. I think that's why I liked Buffy more than Angel sometimes, because Buffy, no matter how hard it got, we still had some of those humorous moments compared to Angel. Sometimes we wouldn't have very humorous bits in there. Like, when we did, great. I like it when they do that. Like, we just had Connor die, and it was super sad. Even though I don't really like Connor from the show. He got better in season 5 and then, like, much better in these. but they need that like bit of levity in here. And when they do it, it's great. Wesley's going to the Illyria thing, I think. Angel's trying to get Gunn to like stand up and fight, probably because they want to be able to reach in and grab him. Angel and Gunn are fighting. It says, "It took the death of my son to get us to this point. I love Connor, I love my friends, and I love the city. I'd die 1,000 deaths to save any of them. But I think I'm only gonna have to die once." And he's getting burned and stuff by Gunn. Yeah, okay, so much stuff. Like, again, this is gonna be some sort of weird time loop stuff. Like, I'm literally reading this, and Spike and Wesley are talking. So Wesley knows what's going on, and he's talking about how, you know, if Angel dies, his timeline is ended, and they have to reach back in to grab him from his previous timeline. And it says they need to return to the very last moment before all of this started. Exactly how it was, exactly as we were. Spike says, "But you were," and Wesley says, "Yes, but so was she." I think he's talking about how him and Fred were technically dead already. So like they're not, there's nothing they can do for them. And then Wesley says, "I'd tell you to keep an eye on our mutual friend, make sure she stays on the straight and narrow, probably Illyria. But I have a hunch you will. We both will in a matter of speaking, whether she likes it or not." Spike says, "Where the hell are you?" Probably because Wesley goes away. Going. Like, again, they're talking in riddles almost. Like, we're gonna get through this. But like, yeah, okay. Yeah, when was this? When were they? Okay, we jumped, when is this? It all happened in a damn moment. We were there for months. Okay, this might be before they went to hell. Spike remembers it. Illyria says she remembers it. Oh, Spike says, "Illyria, have you lost weight?" "See, because," and she says, "Because I was a massive creature, I understand. It was a marginally successful attempt at humor." Spike says, "Thank you." And did Illyria just finally get a joke? Did she finally appreciate a pithy comment? The whole world's gone to hell, or back from hell as the case may be. And then he says, "What about you? Are you hanging in there?" And Angel says, "I'll live." And it definitely looks like they're in the alley fighting the demons before the world went to hell. And they remember. I don't know if, okay. They're fighting. He was right, Wesley was right. Kill me, game over. They lose their key chess piece. Yes, they reset it from before the hell stuff. Yeah, if I die in hell, they can never return me to the normal timeline and fulfill what they consider my destiny. No choice but to return to the last moment I was in one piece. Wesley's gone and he's not coming back. Yeah, I feel like they did a little bit better with the, like, almost like a tribute to Fred in those parts that I was talking about earlier. But I feel like this comic series in general was definitely a tribute to Wesley as well, because he died in the very finale of the TV show and like pretty far into it, so that like we never really got a whole lot of closure. I feel like this has been giving us that as well. Oh, Illyria is upset that Fred was apparently Wesley's reason for living, his light, and she ended her. Oh, and the dragon is back. And Spike said, "Hey, another one of your girlfriends is resurrected." The dragon is back. Oh, yeah, Angel's off to see if he can go save Gunn before he is turned. Good, go get him. I wonder if Gunn remembers everything that happened too. Oh, Gunn said to leave him to die, but Angel said, "No, we've got to help him." So he's carrying him to try and figure out where to take him. Okay, they said Wolfram and Hart's building is jam-packed with all sorts of healing potions, and if they're back in pre-hell, everything is in the basement. So they're gonna go that way. Oh, nope. There is no more Wolfram and Hart headquarters. The West Coast HQ of Wolfram and Hart is gone, and it looks like they have a double meat palace being built instead. Interesting. They got taken back in the timeline, but Wolfram and Hart does not want them to have that building like at all. Like, it's completely gone. Okay. Instead, they're riding the dragon to the hospital that's only a few blocks away. Can you imagine showing up with a dragon? Okay, there's a lot of people in the hospital and they're all like, "We were just in hell, right?" Okay, so like, it seems like everybody remembers the reset. Sorry, somebody asked what happened to Gunn, and Angel said he was attacked by an animal, many large animals. And then she said, "Did some of them have swords?" Angel said, "Not sure, it was dark." But just like, did some of them have swords? Okay, they're gonna take him into surgery. One of the people there at the hospital said, "Is there anything we should know? Was it a demon, vampire, what?" And Angel's like, "I'm sorry?" She said, it seems like all the nasties stayed wherever the hell we were, and it seems like everything's back to normal, but you never know what could slip through the cracks. You know what I mean? Well, of course you do. That is so funny. Okay, yeah. The fact that they're just like back and people remember things and they're like, so was it demons? Like, oh, and Connor's back. Which is good. I was curious how they were going to do that. I wasn't sure if he actually was going to 100% come back or not. He wasn't on the cover of stuff that I had seen. But yeah, they reset it. Everything's better. Saw the dragon, not dead anymore. That rules. Speaking of, I'm also considerably less dead. Aww. He said, it's kind of a happy ending, isn't it? And Angel said, I'm not sure. I've never had one before. Oh, Angel's famous. He's famous now. Everybody remembers him and remembers the battle, remembers him saving him. And so it says he's not an urban legend anymore. He's just a plain legend. People want to take pictures with him. Like, he's like famous. Okay, 1 month later. Okay, chapter 5, 1 month later. And it seems like Wolfram and Hart has never been there in this timeline, even though we know it had been previously. So they're covering up some stuff that way at least. And everybody still remembers him. He's very famous right now. Oh, and also, when did we switch back? We switched back art styles, because I remember looking at it in the front. Chapter 4. I'm in chapter 5 now, but chapter 4 went back to Frank Uru. And right now, chapter 5 went back. Who was like the original artist on the stuff. Much better. I really like his art style for these Angel comics. So this is just so much easier to read. And I didn't even like fully remember it, but like, yeah, going back even, like I think it was chapter 4, like as soon as they basically went back in time to the other timeline. It's just better. It's just better. Okay, Angel's having the dragon go with Gru, and he said, you'll like the Gru slug. He freed you during the battle with the Lord's champions, remember? That was nice of him. And you both recently died and got resurrected, so you have that in common. Well, that was nice. Take them somewhere else, along with that winged horse and everything. He asked Angel what the dragon's name is, and he said it's Cordelia, and Gru slug is like, wow, Gru slug now has 2 Cordies, because he also named his horse Cordelia. Yeah. Oh, is Angel back with Nina? Nina's here and she was doing some research for him in the library. But it looks like she's sort of standing above him, hands on the shoulders. We're not showing anything else with that necessarily, but it does sort of seem like maybe they're on better terms. They were not on so good terms when they were in hell, but... Oh, it looks like the guy, I think that's what it is. The guy that died in Spike after the fall. The one that was supposed to be traveling from LA to San Diego to go get married, like go propose to his girlfriend. He gets to do it. Again, you wouldn't really know what's going on here unless you read Spike After the Fall. And let me tell you, I really liked that volume, but it was also sad. So the fact that it got retconned. Very happy. Oh, the Los Angeles Public Library has a Burkle Wyndham Price wing. The Angel says, you know, good night to them. Yeah, I don't think they're there. Yeah, my ghost is gone. Okay, Wesley's gone. Yeah, this is a good send-off for them both as well, because he says that he misses them, but every time I think of them, I hope for the same thing. Let them be together wherever they are. They've earned it. They deserve it. Okay, my camera hates it that I'm just sort of like leaving it on as I read, because there's just like too much shit happening. So we're going back to the phone again. Spike is apparently supposed to be going to get answers, and he's currently fighting some weird skeleton Terminator thing in this, like, I don't know if it's like goo or water or what, but he has George with him, and they're trying to fight and get answers for things. Oh yeah, and Spike's calling this guy that they're fighting Jello, because yeah, it must be some sort of weird, gross stuff on him. Angel called Spike, and they had to go to him, and Angel has this like little thing of being like, we have mutual respect now. They still bicker and things, but like it's better. And then apparently Spike put the guy in the trunk of his car to bring to Angel, which is just the funniest thing. Okay, so this guy that's tied up in the trunk of the car is telling Angel and Spike that basically after everything got rebooted, all the lords, the demon lords, are very upset with Angel because like he killed most of them, if not all of them, back in hell. But now they're rebooted too, so they're going to be trying to take things out, but not Angel, because Angel hurts himself more than anything else. They're going to try and take out the things and people that Angel loves, starting with whoever is the easiest. So Angel and Spike are now going on a trip, or at least in the car, to go see. I don't know who they would necessarily say is the first. Spike's like, who should we call first? Lauren? Is the electric lady still one of us, even though she sold us out? Not exactly a reason to kick someone out of the band. It's not Illyria. So they're trying to figure out who could be the first target. They're in their car on the way to wherever they're going. They've hinted at Gunn, but it looks like they're also hinting at Lauren potentially. But they're talking about the Shanshrew prophecy, and Spike's like, are you sure it's actually you? Because they put us all in hell, including me, Spike, who, you know, I had to deal with all this kind of stuff. Maybe I just didn't want to be in the visions and the prophecies and things. And Angel said, you know, it could be right. If you're not in the history books, no one will ever see you coming. And then they just have like a little pause, and George says, you both just thanked each other in your heads simultaneously. And they're like, yeah, whatever, no. Okay, and when I said they were hinting at Lauren, apparently they moved Gunn to a hospital in Silver Lake. Silver Lake is where Lauren was originally, so that does make sense. Okay, maybe it is Gunn. Okay, so the demon lord that Angel killed his son and then eventually killed him, and it started the whole fight thing in book 1, apparently was coming to kill Gunn. But they didn't even get that far because they're yelling at Angel in the parking lot. But Illyria is on the roof, I'm assuming, just like right here. And she has some sort of demon head on a stick, it looks like. And she says, nobody kills Charles Gunn. He was important to her. He was important to everyone around her. Though if he ever wakes, I may challenge him to armed combat for striking me down in hell, at which point he will surely fall. Until then, you let him rest and rebuild his strength. Heed my words. The last lord who ventured into Silver Lake did not. And I'm assuming, like I said, that's that head on her stick. We're very, very much getting to the end here. But Spike is done. He doesn't really want to be around Illyria right now because he's confused, which makes sense. But so Spike was like, Angel, do you want to go out and get a pint? And he's like, no, thanks, but Spike. And then Spike says, yes, don't worry, if and when the time comes that you do try to tip the balance between good and evil in the favor of whatever side I'm not on, I will absolutely kill you, no problem. And Angel says, no, I was just going to thank you for everything, for helping me and looking after Connor, and what the hell were you talking about? And Spike's like, nothing, bye. Just like, Spike will be there to take you down if needed. And with that, we have finished Angel After the Fall Volume 4. I do feel like it ended in a way that makes this feel like a conclusion. Because I've heard some people say that the other ones are not as good. We're going to read them anyway. We are. But I did like this one a lot. I think I might be giving it 5 stars again. Like, it was really good. I think Volume 3 just had some sort of weird, like, middle book syndrome type of thing that I just did not like as much. Like, yes, it's set up for a lot of this, but this was bringing back a lot of the stuff that I liked about the previous, like the first one, and even like the first night and the Spike After the Fall. I liked all the time slips. That's what it was. Not time jumps, time slips things. This is very good. This was a really good one. I could definitely have seen this being a series, like a TV show, like the next season. I do think it worked very well in this format, obviously. It was very, very good. I'm very happy with this. I don't even know if I can say anything else because I really gave you guys like my thoughts like the whole way through. We're gonna take a break. It's about lunchtime, and I still have 2 more things that I'm gonna try and read today. We'll see how that goes. Okay, I gave my camera time to cool down, and we changed the battery and everything too, just in case. We had lunch. We are back now with Angel Aftermath. So this is technically Volume 5. It even has it on here. Volume 5 of After the Fall, but it's called Aftermath. I'm assuming we're going to get into the aftermath of After the Fall. But the interesting part for me is this is no longer written by Brian Lynch. This one is written by Kelly Armstrong, who I've heard of before because she wrote a lot of like paranormal YA stuff. I've never actually read anything by her, so I am very curious about this. When I was looking into all of the Angel and Buffy order of things to read, this is one of those things that some people say doesn't matter and you should skip it because they didn't like it, and then other people are like, no, you need to read it anyway. So I know that there's some stuff that people consider canon and some people consider not canon, and we're gonna read some extra stuff from IDW and things before we actually jump into Buffy. And I know some of those are not canon, but I'm pretty sure this is one that is still technically, even though it's a different author and everything. So I'm excited to jump in. I don't have any expectations, and I'm trying not to because of the fact that like I really did enjoy the last volume. And this is a completely different author. So we're gonna temper expectations. I have no idea why we have this jaguar or something on the cover either, but we're gonna jump right on in. Okay, we definitely have a new artist in here. I'm only a couple pages in, but I'm not minding the art so far. We'll have to see how it goes, but it looks like stylized, but at the same time not too detailed in some parts and not detailed enough in others. Like, it just seems very stylized. You know? Okay. So we start off with Angel taking out a lot of the assassins for the Lords, because after everything happened in After the Fall, and then they came back from hell, people know who Angel is. He's very, very popular, but also like everybody remembers what happens. So all the Lords are trying to get to him. And we just have like a little montage of him killing all the assassins and trying to figure out what to do with his life, I guess. And one of them suggests going back to the beginning, doing what he did when he first came to LA, and it sounds like he really wants to do that. He's talking to Connor about maybe starting up a team with that, and Connor's like, I need to figure out stuff by myself. And he asks if he's gotten anybody else on the team yet, and it looks like not really. Gunn is still like getting better and doing that kind of stuff. He has Spike, who knows, so who knows, and Lauren's getting his life back together too. So far, it's just Angel by himself. Kate's back. I don't know how I feel about this because I never particularly liked her as a character. I also don't quite know how I like her being drawn this way. And again, it's an art style, but like the very sort of femme cutesy look, when I know she doesn't necessarily have that edge to her. She has a different kind of edge, but it looks like she might want to help Angel investigations, which is just interesting. Okay. Okay, they're gonna take up office in an old church, which is interesting. And Kate apparently released a press release for it. And they have a ton of takers. A lot of the people that are coming to them for help are not actually needing help. They just want things, which makes sense because Angel's sort of famous now. Okay, they've been having trouble on their jobs, obviously. But it appears that there's these two people from the government. Who knows? They obviously have magic because they show up in this like light. And they're offering to help sort some of the stuff out if Angel works for them. Who knows what that means? But they were offering, I guess, hybrid cars for everybody, and Angel, of course, said, I wouldn't mind a Viper. He is apparently a car man. Okay, there is like a Black Panther type of situation that's been following them for a little bit. And like shows up in Angel's room and turns into basically a naked woman. It's a silhouette, but like she almost stakes him. He wakes up, he punches her, and she says, that's more like it. And they're very silhouette-y, but she is obviously naked. She wants to offer him a deal instead of killing him. Okay, apparently she has a debt to one of the Lords, so she's supposed to kill him, but she doesn't want to do that either. So they're gonna hopefully work together. Okay, let's continue. Oh, Gwen is here. Gwen tried to leave a voicemail for Connor earlier, but it was like a tiny like little line. And I'm assuming she's trying to make up with him, even though she sort of betrayed him a little bit before. Connor keeps saying that Gwen is stalking him. She's like, no, I'm not, I swear. Okay. Panther Lady is Desdemona or Des. Interesting. Okay, she turned back, but like she was a Black Panther sort of looking thing before, but now it's like the Jaguar. I wonder what that means. If that's a choice or not. Oh, Gwen's on research duty. We'll see how that goes. I don't think I particularly like that Des has been naked like almost this entire time. She had a shirt on for like 1 or 2 pages. And then she turned back into a Jaguar, and now they're going to potentially go kill that Lord that wanted her to kill Angel, and she again is just naked. The choices and the art style. Okay, so this art style, like I'm not mad at it necessarily, like with the faces and stuff. I think the faces are stylized, but good enough that you know who these characters are supposed to be. However, I do feel like the bodies, like there was even a part where there was Angel and he literally looked like he had like an 8-pack, maybe a 10-pack. They're just a little bit too much of that like old school comic, or like the G.I. Joe, everything is like super lined, and I don't know, that part makes me a little bit uncomfortable actually, especially since she's been naked like almost the entire thing so far. Okay. Okay, they're taking people to a hospital for the government. I mean, I'm saying government, I have no idea if they actually are. They seem suspicious. But yeah, Angel's like, I'm uncomfortable with this because you never know, even if they're supposed to be, he said white hats, they could have another color underneath. But we just showed up at like the hospital area, so I have no idea. Oh, there's a guy that said, I knew you would come. He looks like a patient or something. But then he turns into like this angel looking creature, like with wings and stuff, and says he has a message from Cordelia. Oh, only Angel saw that part. Only Angel saw that I have a message for you. Okay. Des is up to no good, potentially. She went into this sketchy house, warehouse, basement thing, and has a guy tied up in a chair. She does magic on him, turns him into this like gorilla thing. Gwen followed her and recorded it, so we'll see, but like, she seems like she's up to no good. Okay, the people that they're catching and taking to the hospital are potentially part animal already. I think the gorilla guy was somebody that went to the hospital already and escaped, but Des had him chained up. Angel is not too sure about the hospital government people either, and so he thinks he wants to still save these people but put them in the church in some way. Kate and Gwen are on to Des. They went and shocked her enough that they could put her somewhere safe for safekeeping, because they want her to talk, but she's like a jaguar right now. She can't talk yet, so they're waiting for her to tell them what's going on. And I think Angel's gonna go back to that guy who said he had information about Cordelia. Okay, this guy's name is James. They're escaping out of the hospital. He was able to do a like spell on the humans there so they could just walk past, but now they are fighting a bunch of demons outside, because apparently whatever spell he has doesn't work on them. And like I said, he looks very angelic in whatever form this is that the humans weren't able to see. Okay, we're getting a little bit of Dez's backstory. She's some sort of jaguar warrior thing that wherever she was originally was going to use her and like 35 others to fight to the end of the apocalypse, or, you know, end of days sort of thing. It looks like her and one other girl escapes for some reason, but she's not able to 100% stay human. And then they're like in the hellscape, I want to say, and it's like her and the other girl. And then I think maybe when everything goes back to normal, it's just her. I don't know. I think this is all the stuff that she's dreaming when she's sort of knocked out cold still from Gwen and Kate. Oh, and the other guy, James, is apparently a potente or something, some sort of angel warrior, and apparently there's multiple of him stuck somewhere. Like they got kidnapped after hell didn't happen, and Cordelia needs Angel to help get him out. There's just so many people talking back and forth, back and forth. The government people are saying that, like, of course, James, the angel person, isn't here and stuck because people are forcing him. He must be on a job. Have you asked him enough questions? And I'm just like everybody is just like, again, skirting around whatever issue. And apparently we have a couple different issues because we have the Des stuff and the angel stuff. I don't know. Okay, apparently the other angels are on a demon hunting mission. So we've heard, because Angel and James were out and stopped a demon on demon fight, because one of the demons was, you know, good, peaceful. We know from Angel and Buffy and stuff that not all demons are necessarily bad or evil. And this demon that they saved was like terrified of James because I guess the other angels are killing demons. I'm more than halfway through this now, and I have to say I don't think I like this as much. I don't think it's necessarily bad. I'm curious to see where this is going. I don't like the fact that Des is such a big part for somebody who's a brand new character. I also don't particularly like Kate, just because she's not my favorite. But I think it's more the fact that I don't think these characters sound like the characters. I think the characterization is off. Because we also have Gwen, who I do really enjoy. And I even think even in After the Fall, when she was backstabbing a little bit, but still had a little flirtation with Connor, I still really liked her. I felt for her. I don't feel for her in this. She feels different. She feels revengey. Like, she needs to help Connor. She wants to be around him, but at the same time, she's going out of her way to cause problems for Des, even though we don't really know anything about her yet. And I'm just like, the way that they're doing the characterization, like the only main characters we have here are Angel, and then we, for like, I guess, big side characters, Connor, Kate, Gwen, and Des. Like, that's it. There's no Spike. There's no Lorne. There's no Gunn. There's nothing like that in here. And I feel like even Angel doesn't quite feel like himself. So this feels very off in a way. Like, again, not bad. Like, this could be something completely different outside of the Angel Buffy sphere type of thing, and it'd probably be fine. It just, I don't know. Okay, we're gonna finish this. Like I said, I'm over halfway there, but it feels off. Okay. Again, interesting. Don't know how I feel about it in terms of Angel stuff, but apparently Des didn't turn a man into a gorilla. She turned a gorilla back into a gorilla because he was human-esque. I don't know how we got there or what the government stuff has to do with it, but it seems like there are people that are not actually people. They're animals. And so Des was trying to help, but she didn't tell anybody about it either because she said she solves her own problems. Okay, Cordelia showed up to basically tell Angel what's going on, which is, yes, he is supposed to help find these Angel Potente things and help them, free them to do their own work, which is to then clean up some demons, since there are, I guess, a lot left over from hell, I guess. Okay. I'm still confused. Okay, the other Jaguar girl was a sister of Des, and she's trying to find her. She was born a Jaguar and was turned into human, so apparently all this type of magic stuff with animals, she's experiencing that. She knows sort of about that. I do want to know why we have so many animals turning into people, because Des says she's been basically raised as a human who can then turn into a cat, even though she was born as a Jaguar. But all these other people, they're not people. They're animals, full animals that have always lived their life as animals, and they are confused and mad about it. They just want to be back to animals again. So who's turning them into humans? Gwen is not happy that Des was freed and Kate didn't tell her. And Connor was there because Kate's saying that Gwen only wanted to do this to prove herself to Connor. And Connor's like, she proved herself. She proves that she's the same girl who betrayed me, who's somebody who's only looking out for herself. I don't think that was the whole reason she betrayed him in the first place. She was taken in by the visions that Gunn had. So I do feel like this volume is sort of reducing a lot of the character motivations from the previous books. They don't seem to fit as well as they could. Okay, the government agents, they're actually some sort of, I mean, they mentioned they were immortal earlier, but like I didn't know exactly what they were. They mentioned that there's some sort of like celestial referees. We monitor and mediate between the divine and the demonic, ensuring everyone plays fair, and when they do not, we cry foul. So they just picked up some of the angel potente things, apparently. Does that mean that the angel things are maybe doing too much? Because Angel did mention to Cordelia, when she like showed up for one thing, that there could be a potential problem, because Cordelia was explaining that the angels were there to help clean up demon stuff, but like some of the demons are good demons, you know, like Clem and things from Buffy. They're not necessarily bad demons, and I think the angels were cleaning up every demon possible. So maybe they've been doing a little bit too much. Yeah, Angel says, you've put the potentes in a penalty box. And she said, excellent analogy, one of our referee people. Okay, Angel guys, Potente guys, because it's hard to say angel and not mean angel, are apparently cleaning up, and not just demons, like humans and things too. So there's definitely something crazy going on. Okay, the Potentes are pre-cleaning up. This is like Minority Report now, almost. Like, Angel's talking to some of the powers that be. He asked for Cordelia, but it's like an old lady. I don't know if it's actually supposed to be Cordelia because I can't tell based on the actual design of the character. I don't know. But they're showing the like humans that the Potentes killed. In the future, if they hadn't been killed, they were going to rob a bank and shoot people. So they like preemptively cleaned up. Los Angeles is falling into the abyss, so they wanted to stop the cycle. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Angel does not like the Potentes thing, which I agree with. I don't like it as well, because he said they want him to turn a blind eye for them to kill humans who haven't done anything yet. Their future holds death and destruction, prophecies of doom. You know what? I'm a little tired of prophecies. Been the subject of a few myself, and one right now, as I'm sure you know. You're asking me to believe that a person's future is set in stone, that free will plays no role in our lives. Well, I disagree. And even if I'm wrong, and these people do what is foretold, how do I know it won't change them, that they won't spend the rest of their lives making up for it? Had a little experience with that myself. I mean, obviously. Okay, so now they're fighting. Oh, we're very much at the end of this. Okay, last page. They fought a little bit. The referee guys showed up and said that Angel is now the master of 4 rogue warriors and that he is responsible for them. Those 4, from what I can tell from the picture, are Connor, Kate, Des, and James. So, like, okay. And they said, what are you going to do with them? He said, same thing I've always done. Fight for justice and what's right. Okay. Okay, it says the end. I feel like that wasn't a very satisfying conclusion. Interesting. Sorry, I just like to look at the art gallery stuff at the end. I always do. Yeah, I think like what I mentioned before, I'm not necessarily mad at this, but it's not exactly what I wanted. The characters, the characterization, the character motivations don't feel right. And we didn't have like the whole Angel Investigations crew. There were so many people missing from this. Like, the people besides Angel that we had in here were people like Connor and Kate who were in less than 2 seasons total. You know what I mean? Like, they were the ones that didn't have as much concrete character stuff. And then we had 2 new warriors apparently for Angel that I don't know if they're going to come into book 6. I would assume maybe at least a little bit. It's fine. I don't think I necessarily hate it or anything either, so I'm going to give it 3. I do think this is my least favorite of all of the books that we've read so far. I understand why some people are like, it doesn't really matter, you should skip it. I am curious to see if it actually is something you realistically could skip. Like, we didn't really need all the information in this one to read Last Angel in Hell, which is the next volume we're going to read, or what. I know most people say that if you want to read Angel After the Fall before you get into like the Buffy comics and things like that, you should at least read the first 4 volumes, which we did, and we're going to finish everything else as well. But yeah, I don't think I particularly liked this one as much. And I do think most of it is the characters. Some of it is because the plot line was almost more of like a, if this was like part of the TV show, this would be like a Monster of the Week type of situation. Like, it doesn't feel like it had any overbearingness to the story we have here, unless there is something about the Potentes later still trying to clean up stuff. But besides that, yeah, okay, that's fine. 3 stars. Okay, it is almost 10:30. I'm officially ready for bed. Had, you know, my end of the day shower, all that kind of stuff. Kids are in bed. We're going to be reading Last Angel in Hell. This is the last thing we need to read for this vlog. It's Sunday night at 10:30, and this thing feels and looks thicker than the other volumes we've been reading, so I'm going to see if I can do it before midnight. Hopefully, this won't take me all that long. but the last few things I've been reading, I've been talking a lot as well, which definitely slows me down. So we're gonna see. And I said we're gonna see, and I'm immediately back here because I barely opened this, but we have like the different chapters. And we're back with Brian Lynch being our writer, and I think Frank Uru being the artist, at least for the most part. But chapter 2, the story is called Drusilla, and it's written by Juliet Landau. Who is Drusilla? So we'll have to see. So we have like different stories, it looks like. Chapter 1 is Become What You Are. Chapter 2 is Drusilla. Chapter 3 is Boys and Their Toys. And chapter 4 is Last Angel in Hell. Okay. I don't know if that means they're 100% going to be like separate stories or not. We'll see. Okay, so this appears to be a gun-focused story, which I think I'm going to enjoy so far because of the fact that like volume 5 really didn't have any of our main characters, like I said. It opens up as like Gunn and Illyria and like her being like, I should kill you, and he said, I agree. And then it jumps to earlier when he's actually in the hospital and like healing and things. And lots of people have been like coming by to talk to him, and it sounds like he's in his head trying to like figure out what exactly happened, because he hasn't really woken up realistically between what happened previously in the like hellscape and then here. Beta George is now talking to him about the like place that helps demons and things, where, you know, we met him with Spike in like Asylum. And so that seems like an option. And it also seems like somebody came to try and like kill Gunn, and somebody else from like further away out the window saved him, like threw a thing in. I'm pretty sure it's Illyria, because I'm pretty sure this is going to be like a Gunn and Illyria story. Okay, I completely forgot about Non, who was the demon lord that Spike and Illyria took out in Spike After the Fall. But of course, that was after the fall in hell. So she's back, and she's talking to Gunn because she met Gunn in hell. And she can do this weird like siphoning energy thing. That's how she was killing all the humans. But she said what she can take, she can give. And she gave him energy or something and woke him up. Okay, so Gunn is officially not dead. He's alive and potentially healed. And obviously Non is some evil lord thing. Hopefully we take her out soon, because I did not like her from the first time we met her. Okay, Non is trying to recruit Gunn because in hell he was a vampire and evil, and she's like, you're evil, help me be evil and take over stuff. And then Illyria shows up, obviously. And apparently Illyria was supposed to be fighting the T-Rex, because there's a T-Rex, of course there is. He was one of the champions for the Demon Lords in the first volume of After the Fall. But Nana's like, Kenny, you were supposed to keep her distracted. And then the dinosaur said that he was, you know, trying to, but she sucker punched him. And please don't use my real name to keep my family out of this. I'm just like, Kenny is the funniest name for a T-Rex. Yeah. Okay, it seems like Illyria and Gunn have a little understanding now. She's not going to kill him, even though it seems like she wants to, but she also doesn't want to, because she still has all the memories of Fred from Wesley and Spike in her head. And she's asking how she can care so much. Like, it's hard to care as Illyria. And then it looks like we're now going to the Mosaic Rehabilitation Facility. So Gunn looks like is going to be maybe checking in there. Apparently not Gunn checking in, but he is doing the whole like walking through everything, and they're explaining how, you know, the food system works and all this other kind of stuff. And he's like, I don't think you understand about this girl. She's crazy. Like, even more than that, she might end up killing everybody. And they're like, oh, we have it all settled and everything. She's gonna be roommates with Anna, the demon from Spike Asylum that has like the horns that mutes people's powers. And it definitely makes you think they're talking about Illyria. But then we see the picture. I'm pretty sure that's Non, which I just think is sort of hilarious. Definitely not Illyria. Finished the first chapter, first story. Gunn and Illyria are going to ride off into the sunset in a car to try and figure out humanity and what that means for them in being more human and things. And then it says, to be continued in Angel Still Human. which is supposed to be coming out August of 2009, because obviously we're way behind here. I don't remember in any of my research Angel's still human. I might have to look that up and see if I need to read it, or if that is even a thing, or if it got changed to other things. Yeah. Okay, well, we're moving on to Drusilla, I'm pretty sure. Okay, not exactly where I saw this going. We just started, but this is Drusilla. I was curious where we were going to be going with this because of the fact that, like, she has never been brought up in any capacity in this After the Fall situation after Angel. But we're like following these scientists or doctors or mental health professionals for a few pages talking about a girl that has delusions and thinks she's a vampire. It's reminding me a lot of that like Buffy episode where she's, you know, poisoned to think she's in a mental institution and things, but like, what if it was? And so they have Drusilla in this like padded cell. And these people are saying that she just has delusions of stuff. She was found by the LAPD or something, injured, and now she's here. And she thinks she's a vampire, but they don't think she is a vampire. Like, do they just not think vampires exist? Like, is this one of those weird ones? I don't know. I'm very curious. She killed some girls in the shower. I don't know exactly, but there is some sort of cop or something. Like, they took her to a session, and there's somebody here who said, like, if you want to keep Drusilla safely tucked away, I'd send a cleanup crew immediately, which is curious. But then she's like in a session, like it says like 45 minutes later, and she's like relating some of the events and stuff from like Angel and things like that. But because it's Drusilla and she talks roundaboutedly, it's sort of funny. She says, moons after my second daddy set me on fire, I saw in my head that my grandmom/daughter killed herself. And I haven't seen my son/lover since he chose that cheerleader, but that could have been the chip in his brain. So obviously talking about like Angel and Darla and Spike and Buffy. But I just think it's funny that like roundabout way that like if you didn't know anything that was going on, she does seem crazy. And like she is. It's Drusilla, but like still. Okay, she definitely turned into like the vampire with the eyes and things. So I am thinking these people somehow don't believe in vampires, or maybe there's something bigger going on that way, but like she is obviously Drusilla, the one that we know. 1 hour later, and she's basically killed everyone in the whole facility. She has killed like pretty much everybody in the whole facility and is now drawing pictures and things of what happened in hell. We have like Spike and all his bikini girls, like they're not in bikinis anymore, but you know what I mean. And then they showed like Gunn being a vampire and Connor dying and, you know, things. And then we have a couple of these people that were like trying to help her at some point, seeing that she's done all of this, and they're like, oh, she thinks she's having premonitions. I don't know if this is supposed to be before all this happens or not, but she does say like in her mind, because it's like just like in one of those things, not a speech bubble, but like a different one, that no one but my William ever pays me any mind. Angelus, Darla, these sods, they all ignore the tick-tocking in my brain. And then they're saying like journaling is such a useful tool. She's using it to exercise her relationship. Not only is she drawing her ex in literal form, the dragon and the fury that she's been warning us of represent her feelings towards him. Like, not so much. I believe the women in this particular drawing are multiple manifestations of Drew herself. Like, no, that was the hellscape stuff. Interesting. She draws another vision of like a bunch of people, and then they come, and the people that are trying to help her run away, but then like she is like grabbed by them. I don't know what this means exactly, because then she like wakes up in the past and she seems very happy with it. She's out in the sun. She like goes home. She has her dolls. Somebody from her family is telling her that lunch is almost ready and to wash her hands. Like, I feel like it's supposed to be like set maybe before. This could be a delusion for her. I don't know. It says, I wonder how long this will last. I don't know. The end. That was an interesting one. I don't know where exactly it was set with everything. I like the fact that Juliet Landau got to write it herself, obviously. But yeah, not like a new favorite necessarily, but definitely intriguing. Now we're going on to chapter 3, which is called Boys and Their Toys. This is back to writing by Brian Lynch. Okay, this is obviously some sort of parody thing. Okay, because we start off, oh, we've gone to hell. And then, that's Nicolas Cage. He's supposed to be Angel. Apparently this is supposed to be Gunn. And she's Spike. And then they kiss. I'm sorry, this is just a lot to wrap my head around. I haven't even read the dialogue, realistically, because I started it and I was like, huh. And then I saw Nicolas Cage as Angel. And like, that is obviously what that is supposed to be. And they made Spike a girl. Are these people gonna realize that this is what happened? Like, is this like a movie based on their time there? I need to continue. Okay. Beta George is being represented by a dog, which I just think is hilarious. But yeah, Nicolas Cage Angel and female Spike have like little sarcastic digs at each other. Like she says, I may be a vampire, but you're the one who sucks. Or also says, if Angel's gonna die happy. And then they kiss. And the guy that's supposed to be Gunn says, whoa, is it hot in hell or is it just them? Like, this is crazy. Okay, Angel is in a viewing for a sneak peek of Last Angel in Hell, which apparently is what that was. And that's what the next story is called. Are we gonna see the ridiculous version of them going to hell? Oh my gosh. Okay. Maybe. Angel's at a Comic-Con, which is why they had a preview of the movie thing. Spike is also at a Comic-Con. And we just got to a point where somebody's like, that's not how it was. The only thing that you got right was that they were in hell. It's the guy. It's the guy. So I was in hell. My name is Jeremy Johns. I live in San Diego, but I do business in Los Angeles. Spike saved my life a bunch of times, asterisk. Mostly in the Spike After the Fall miniseries. This is the guy. This is the guy that was going to go propose to his girlfriend and got trapped in hell and then died because of Non and things. But then everything got retconned, and I think there was like one little panel that I showed you before of like where they were proposing. That's him. That's him. Also, just the fact that his like wizard robe and hat is like the magic box Giles thing is cool. Okay, so the whole reason they're at this Comic-Con is because of the flaming sword that I think took Angel out at the very end that Gunn had. And it's at an auction, apparently. I don't know if it's like supposed to be movie props or just like things, but they're here. And so Gru is waiting in line to get into the thing. Angel's gonna be helping him get it or figuring things out with it. And Spike is obviously here now and wants to scuffle. And he's saying, how do I put this? A while ago, you babbled about how my future was wide open, said I could do whatever I want and no one would see it coming, and congratulations to the graduating class of blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, and making me say this is cruel of you, but you were right. I can do whatever I want, and it's bloody freaking me the bloody hell out. I have never had a blank slate. I've been ruled by my heart or evil, or my heart and evil. I've never been this free, and it's a bloody nightmare figuring out the next step. I like it when they have a little heart to heart. Okay, so obviously they're at this like convention. Apparently people were giving out free costumes, which is weird because like why would they do that? But then of course they take the costumes because Angel and Spike and Jeremy are gonna try and sneak in to the sword area. And the costume guys do a little spell. Makes me immediately think of Ethan Rain, right? Like, of course, we're gonna do this again. And yeah, That's basically what happens. There were some like assassin demons in teddy bear costumes, and now they're teddy bears, like giant teddy bears, but like they're teddy bears. So everybody has been turning into whatever their costumes are. So we have like lots of like superheroes and things. Very, you know, Halloween episode. But like Spike and Angel were dressed up as Spike and Angel. And it's hard to tell a little bit because in the scenes where they were fighting, there's a little bit too much motion and things. But like they're dressed up as the Spike and Angel from the movie. So it's like they called her like She Spike and Angel. But then, you know, all this stuff happens. And Spike is talking and saying, I'm going to find the source and cut it off at the knees. I sulk away into the shadows. I sit alone in a dark room. I think about Buffy. I sleep. I do the whole thing again tomorrow. And Angel says, Spike, what are you talking about? What happened to your accent? And Spike says, Spike, you're confused, friend. I'm Angel. And like, it's Spike's face, but Angel's hair and stuff. Like, it's obviously like he must have been wearing the Angel costume. You really should be reading this. Like, I'm actually loving this. All these people are like superheroes and they have all this like dialogue stuff in their head, but they're talking about like their superhero origin stories. And it says, the last son of a dying planet, jettisoned to Earth, found by billionaires, raised like I was their own, but they were shot and killed. That's 2 times the origin, 2 more origins than you. And ever since then, stuff happens. And then there's somebody else. I am a mute deaf ninja raised by other older ninjas, but they were stabbed and killed. And so there's just like all this kind of stuff. Well, and then they have like Spike as Angel's one. And he said, I was once an evil vampire. Now I'm good. Not great, mind you. Good. I make it my mission to help the helpless. I am so good and so boring. I'm cardboard with a conscience. I'm white bread wrapped in leather. I am Angel. It's just so good. We just finished Boys and Their Toys, which is the sci-fi convention thing. Really enjoyed that one. Do I think it necessarily was needed? No. Whereas like the Gunn and Illyria story definitely felt like what happened after the fall. But I really liked this one. Lots of humorous stuff in there, which I really do enjoy. So I think we have one story left, which is literally called Last Angel in Hell movie adaptation or adaptation. I never know when it's supposed to be adaptation or adaptation. So yeah, I'm still very curious if this is supposed to be like a female Spike in here or not. Let's see. Okay, I literally just put you guys down. I'm on the first page still because this is supposed to be the movie adaptation, whatever. And okay, Los Angeles, prehistoric BC times. The war between vampires and man did not begin with man. A dinosaur lost its mate. A dinosaur cursed God in its own dinosaur way. The devil heard the dinosaur's cries. The volcanoes spewed blood. And Satan found its first agent on Earth. The first vampire was made. It's like a freaking T-Rex. A T-Rex vampire. Like, what is going on again? It's the reason the dinosaurs went extinct. But it's also the reason hell came to Earth. Okay. This is really bad. On purpose. Like, it's supposed to be really bad. But, like... Angel is supposed to be, like, a cop. And Wesley was his partner. But Wesley was killed by vampires. But people don't believe that. And I don't even think the Angel person believes in vampires because he was going to be getting married to Sarah, who I'm pretty sure is Spike. And then Sarah just like shows up and is like a vampire. And he's like, oh, you have spikes in your mouth. But yeah, like the dialogue is just very weird, but like on purpose. Like they talk about the people that killed Wesley as being sicko, freak, perp, scum, like just over exaggerating things. And now for no reason whatsoever, they're in hell. Like it just happened. Okay, in this hell world, they have Lorne. And when I say hell world, I mean in the movie as well. But he is the Overlorn, and he's like the demon to rule over all the demons, which is just sort of funny. But he's like talking to Angel because Angel was trying to save humans from demons, and of course everything is like weird. Like I just don't understand why they have this Angel have like a goatee, but they just introduced right here Gun and Fred apparently. I don't know if she is supposed to be more the Illyria type or not, but they definitely said Fred. Oh, but Fred has lightning. So maybe she's like an amalgam of some of the different women that obviously would have been in this for real. Apparently not an amalgam. Because the person who's supposed to be Gun has an interesting accent. Because he's saying she's 100% human. But her tech suit is out of this world. It's the Illyria. So Illyria. Industrial level, low yield, reactive, integrated armor. That's how they're getting around that one. Okay, I officially finished it and it is like 11:59. I barely made it. And yeah, okay, that last one was interesting. It was fine. I think they tried a little bit too hard to make it bad on purpose. Like just all the dialogue was weird. And the choices that were made, I think, for the different demons and things. Like, I know where they were going with it, but it was a little bit too satirical for me compared to, like, what everything else was. So I enjoyed the first chapter, like, with Gun and Illyria. It felt like a very good sort of, like, almost like an epilogue to, like, the actual stuff, especially for them. I would be very curious to see what else there's going to be. The Drusilla story was interesting, but again, I don't know if we necessarily needed it because it didn't feel like it really connected 100% to all this after the fall things. I really loved the Comic-Con-esque sort of story, the boys and their toys. It was fun and funny and had some sort of point. Obviously, they were trying to like do stuff. It didn't necessarily need to be related to this, except for the fact that like I think the weapon was the weapon that was used in After the Fall, but I liked that a lot, and I liked that it had Angel and Spike together and like the whole like buddy thing, and Gru was there and he also was sort of like buddy with them, which was good. And then the last one, which is the name on this one, Last Angel in Hell, it was fine. Like I know where they were going with it. So I think overall this volume, I'm gonna say 4. I'm gonna give it a 4 because in general, I think if I was gonna like rank the stuff, Boys and Their Toys is number 1. The first story that I don't remember what it's supposed to be, Become What You Are, is probably ranked number 2. The Drusilla story is number 3, and then Last Angel in Hell is number 4. And again, probably not like horrible necessarily, but a little bit too much for me. I know what they were going for. But yeah, okay, so that is officially the end of After the Fall. We are going to be ending the vlog here, obviously, but we do have some like extra IDW Angel comics. I don't think any of them are Buffy. I think they're all IDW Angel comics that we will be reading next weekend. There are some more things that we should be reading, canon and potentially non-canon ones, before we actually then jump into Buffy stuff, like the Buffy season 8 and everything like that. So we will have at least one more week of like extra things that we need to read, more in the angel sphere than anything else. I'm excited for it, especially because like I've been looking forward to reading these books this weekend almost all week. Like I haven't really done as many videos as I should have, and we talked about this. So yeah, overall, we're done with this. Again, thank you if you guys are coming along for the ride. Of course, everything is spoiler filled because that's the only way that we can do this. And I guess I'll see you in my next video. We will have, again, all of the Bewitched by Buffy stuff coming out on Tuesdays, and I do also have videos coming out on Thursdays and Saturdays. So I will see you then. Bye.